So, what is this supply chain thing? You hear it a lot, especially these days. It sounds very complicated maybe, but the basic idea is quite simple actually. Think of it like a long chain. It connects all the steps to bring a product from its very beginning all the way to you, the customer. This journey has a few main stages. First, you have the raw materials, like cotton growing in a field for your t-shirt, or metal ore dug from the ground for your phone. These are the basic building blocks. Next comes production or manufacturing. The cotton is spun into thread, then woven into fabric. The metal ore is processed into usable metals. Then these parts are assembled into a finished product. This happens in factories, big or small. Workers and machines work together here, turning simple stuff into something useful or nice. Then, after things are made, comes distribution. Finally, delivery is the last step, the last mile. Many different players work in a supply chain. It's not just one company doing everything. First, you have the suppliers. They provide the raw materials we talked about. Or they might supply specific components like the buttons for a shirt or a chip for a phone. Then come the manufacturers, the makers. These are the factories that actually build things. They take the raw materials or components and use their machines and workers to assemble, to create, to produce the goods. Logistics companies are the movers and shakers. They handle the transportation of goods by sea, by air, by land, whatever is needed. Finally, you have the retailers. These are the businesses that sell directly to you. The shops in the mall, the supermarkets, the online stores you browse on your phone. They make products accessible for all of us. Let's take a real-world example, okay? Think about the smartphone in your pocket. Maybe it's an iPhone, very popular. It looks so sleek, so simple in your hand. But its journey to you is incredibly complex. It involves so many countries, so many companies, a truly global supply chain, this one. The journey starts with raw materials. These come from all over the planet. Cobalt from Congo for the battery, tin from Indonesia, gold from Australia for circuits, rare earth elements, mostly from China. Then, these processed materials go to make components. The screen might be made by Samsung or LG in Korea. The processor chip designed by Apple, made by TSMC in Taiwan. Finally, all these hundreds of components are shipped to giant assembly plants, mostly in China, run by companies like Foxconn. Here, thousands of workers assemble the iPhones. Quite a trip, eh? Section 4, Kopi, Kaipeng, and everything in between, the food supply chain. Now let's talk about something closer to our stomachs. Food, our daily bread, our char kway teow. The food supply chain is also very important, and it can be very complex too, you know. Think about the ingredients for your lunch, the rice, the vegetables, the meat or fish. Each item has its own journey, from the farm or the sea to your plate. Especially in Singapore, we import most of our food, so this supply chain is vital for us. It starts with the farmers and fishermen. They grow the crops, raise the livestock, or catch the seafood from the ocean. This is hard work, often depending on weather. They are the first link, the producers of raw food. Quality and safety start here, on the farm. Freshness is key for many food items, so the next steps must be quick and handled properly to avoid spoilage. Once harvested, the food items are transported, often in refrigerated trucks or containers. This is called the cold chain for perishable goods, to keep them fresh and safe to eat. Then, to distribution centers or wholesale markets, where retailers and restaurants buy their supplies. Section 5, jam everywhere when global supply chains stumble. Supply chains are designed to be efficient, but sometimes things can go very wrong, like a major road accident causing a massive jam. These disruptions can affect everyone. Businesses lose money and we consumers face delays, or we cannot get the things we want. Prices might also go up, quite frustrating, or the world is so interconnected now. So a problem in one place can spread quickly. Like a domino effect, one falls then another. Remember the Ever Given ship in the Suez Canal? That was in 2021, a giant container ship. It got stuck sideways in the canal, blocking one of the world's busiest shipping lanes. For almost a week, hundreds of ships were stuck, carrying oil, electronics, clothes, everything. The delay cost billions of dollars. It showed how a single point of failure can cause huge problems for global trade. Then, of course, there was the COVID-19 pandemic. This was a massive worldwide disruption. Factories had to close or reduce output. Workers got sick or couldn't go to work. Ports became congested with ships waiting to unload. Shipping containers were in the wrong places, and the cost of shipping goods went sky high. Section 6, keep stock or not, just in time versus just in case. Companies have to manage their inventory. Inventory means the stock of goods they hold. Raw materials, parts, or finished products. How much to keep? That's a big question. There are two main strategies here. One is called just-in-time, or JIT. The other is just-in-case, or JIC. Each has its good points and bad points. Choosing the right one is very important. It affects cost, efficiency, and risk. Just-in-time, JIT, is a lean approach, pioneered by Japanese companies like Toyota. The idea is to have materials arrive exactly when they are needed for production, and finished goods are made just in time. To meet customer orders, not to sit in a warehouse. This reduces storage costs, less money tied up in stock. But JIT has a big weakness. It relies on a perfectly smooth supply chain. If there's any disruption, like a port delay, then the factory might run out of parts. Section 7, more than just lorries and ships, the real scope of supply chains. Sometimes people think supply chain management is only about logistics, about moving things, like driving trucks or loading ships. Yes, logistics is a very important part, but the supply chain is much bigger than that. It's a whole complex system, you see, with many interconnected parts and processes. It's not just about physical movement, it's also about information, planning, and coordination. A truly strategic function for any business. A modern supply chain involves careful planning, forecasting demand, what will customers want, sourcing materials from the best suppliers, managing production schedules efficiently, coordinating with many different partners. Information flow is absolutely critical, knowing where things are, when they will arrive. Technology plays a huge role here now. Things like data analytics, artificial intelligence, and blockchain are helping to make chains smarter. It's really an entire ecosystem. It connects businesses across industries and countries. It links raw material producers to end consumers.